All right, guys, I'm so excited because I had some time this morning to actually cook and prepare dinner for tonight because I don't have that much time tonight. And Wednesday is kind of the hump day, so I'm just trying to get over my hump and I need to stock up the fridge a little more. So I kind of preparing a bigger meal for leftovers for the next, well, through the end of the week. So this one's for you, Susan. A perfect tomato sauce. Just remember, nothing's ever perfect. So even if you try to follow a recipe to the T, it's never going to come out the same every time, unless you're a manufacturer that can process stuff with food scientists and all that. We're not processing anything here, right? We're eating whole food because we're on the Whole30, and this is starting from scratch, but I will use some canned tomatoes, and that's okay. So what I've done here is I've actually sauteed some onion, some garlic, jalapeno, and poblano. I like the peppers because I'm Hispanic and I love the Mexican flair to it. Give it a little spice. So you want to saute that. You kind of want to, cook it down. I've also added some fresh tomatoes, roasted fresh tomatoes. Pop them in the oven about 350 or so for about 5-10 minutes. And then you could keep them on broil, high, for about another minute or so just to brown them up. So you get that nice roasted kind of home fresh feeling to the tomato sauce. So I'm just going to pop those in and stir it around. And then what we do is add a little anchovy. Anchovy, umami. Okay? It gives it a little more depth. So you're just going to squeeze some in. If you're kind of afraid of anchovy, you could skip this part. If you're just a little bit afraid, maybe just add a little. If you love anchovy, add enough. Okay? So you're just going to mix that around. Then we got some tomato paste. Oh, I forgot my spoon, and gotta grab a small one because the lid opening is really small. So tomato paste will give it a little more depth and a little more strong kind of consistency. You want to add that in, stir that up. Then, once that kind of simmers for a little bit, this should cook for about 5, maybe 10 minutes altogether, kind of simmering together. Then what you do, organic diced tomatoes, okay? So I'm actually cooking a lot. I'm adding 3 cans. You can add 1 if you're only cooking kind of for a small amount of people. But what I like to do is cook a lot, make sure I have the leftovers. And when I get bored of those leftovers, what do? You freeze it. So you can freeze the tomato sauce, use it at a later date, totally great. So you want to let that simmer for maybe about 1 to 2 hours. If you don't have that much time, that's okay too. The leftovers will kind of meld better and it'll be more delicious. That said, what do you serve with it? Well, I made curry lamb meatballs. If you visited my blog before, you know I love meatballs. They're perfect little bites, and they're great for leftovers too. Just kind of pop them in your mouth. And I'm going to serve that, because I'm on the Whole30, no pasta for me, no grains, no nothing like that. So, spaghetti squash. Remember, it's noodle week for me. Yes, that's 2 whole spaghetti squashes. What am I going to do with it? Probably make spaghetti squash cakes for the leftovers, or add them to a salad. You name it, I'll think of it. That said, you want to top off your pasta sauce with, if you like spice, a little caribe. This is my special seasoning, which I might show you one of these days. Probably will. And don't forget your salt, okay? Salt brings it all together. Don't be afraid of salt, but a little too much, unbearable. So, what have you learned? Nothing's ever perfect. So, kind of play around with the ratios, go one way, add little by little, taste it as you go, and then if you need to add more, add more. All right? Have a great day, and I'll be confessing.